In the shadowy annals of British criminal history, certain names resonate with a quiet, almost legendary infamy. Among them, one man stands out, Brian Reader. Not for brute force, but for a cunning intellect, a meticulous approach, and an enduring presence in the high-stakes world of grand larceny. For decades, he was known simply as the Guv'nor, a master of the heist, whose career spanned some of Britain's most audacious robberies. Born into the harsh poverty of Lewisham, South London, in 1939, Reader's path to crime began early. By the age of 11, he was already appearing in court, a fledgling thief honing his skills. But this wasn't mere petty crime. Reader quickly ascended, learning from the best and establishing himself as a full-time professional. By the 60s and 70s, he was part of an elite, flexible network of burglars and robbers, responsible for dozens of significant scores. His name became truly synonymous with the art of the tunnel job. And the earliest and perhaps most famous example of his particular genius came in 1971. The target, Lloyd's Bank on Baker Street. A seemingly impenetrable vault, but Reader and his crew had a different idea. They didn't go through the front door. Instead, they burrowed. For days, they tunneled from 2 doors down, working beneath the bustling streets of London, meticulously planning every detail. The payoff? Over £8 million in 1971 money, a staggering sum. Reader, ever the elusive figure, slipped away to Spain, never arrested for that particular crime. It was a masterclass in planning, patience, and daring. But the Guv'nor's reach extended far beyond tunnels. In 1983, Britain was rocked by a robbery that redefined the term heist. Brinksmat, £26 million in gold bullion, diamonds, and cash, vanished from a warehouse near Heathrow. Reader was deeply involved, later convicted for handling the stolen gold, earning him a 9-year sentence. He was a man who moved within the highest echelons of the criminal underworld, his connections vast and his reputation unshakable. He even found himself in a high-profile court case in 1985, alongside Kenny Noy, acquitted of murder after a surveillance officer was stabbed. Reader was a survivor, always adapting, always operating. Yet, as the decades turned, as technology advanced and security tightened, many believed the era of the grand old-school heist was over. But they hadn't accounted for Brian Reader. In 2015, at the remarkable age of 76, the Guv'nor resurfaced. The target, the Hatton Garden Safe Deposit. This time, the media would dub them Dad's Army, a group of aging, experienced criminals who, in a feat that defied their years, drilled through a formidable concrete wall, plundering an estimated £14 million in jewels and cash. Reader, despite his age, was a key ringleader. Captured on CCTV, casually using his freedom pass to ride the bus to the scene of the crime. Though he eventually pulled out of the raid on the first night when a drill broke, his involvement was undeniable. He pleaded guilty, sentenced to just over 6 years. Even in his late 70s, his mind for the game remained sharp. Brian Reader was eventually released from prison early due to ill health, battling cancer and enduring strokes. He died in September 2023 at the age of 84. With him, it's widely believed, died the knowledge of where an estimated £10 million in missing loot from Hatton Garden remains hidden.